Now, yesterday, we didn't end the trading session on that record high level that we saw at the starting. We managed to close off at a very muted day in terms of a move that we saw coming in for the Indian markets. What happened to Dow? They saw a sharp fall coming in today. Asian markets have opened up on the positive note, and despite that sell-off that we saw on Wall Street, look at the Taiwan index managing to hold on to gains of 1.23%. We have Hang Seng holding on to gains of around 0.6% as well. So overall, what we're seeing is a bit of a positive move that has come in for the Asian markets. Nifty implied open. Let's pull that up. A bit of a flattish start is what we're keeping an eye on, just 0.30%. So we closed almost muted. Start for the Indian markets today is indicating a muted start as well. We'll watch out for, how everything paves out during the day as well. As of now, a flat start for the Indian markets. But let's talk about the global market action, right? A lot of that happened, and those overnight cues now will impact our Indian markets. We have a team of research here to set you up for trade, tell you which are the important stocks to watch out for in the trading session as well. First up, let's go across to Hormaz, who's here to tell us the important cues that we're keeping an eye out on today. Good morning, Hormaz.
Good morning, Vinny. It's a muted start because you're awaiting a lot of things to transpire as well. But the bulls will definitely be disappointed. We were expected to open gap up yesterday. We did open gap up. We hit a record high, but then we could not sustain at those levels. Same is the story for the Nifty Bank as well. You're talking about that 60,000 mark. 60,000 did come. 6,100 also came. But then again, there was a cool off from those levels. The Nifty was down 150 points from the highs. The Nifty Bank was down almost 450 points from the highs. And the biggest factor as to why the markets could not sustain at those higher levels turned out to be the rupee. And it was the second such move in the last 1 week where you saw one-way move downwards for the currency. Although from those intraday lows of around 89.67, 89.70, the currency did manage to claw back some of those losses, ended at around 89.5. But that remains to be the key monitorable. Even in today's trading session, we've had experts telling us that 90 against the dollar is going to be a very important psychological level for the currency. So that remains a key monitorable. The other key monitorable is the advanced decline. Barring a couple of sessions last week, the advanced decline continues to remain adverse. Yesterday was no different. We opened with a very yawning gap in favor of the gainers, but then by the close, that yawning gap had turned in favor of the declines. Those 1,700 stocks ending lower. That broader market pain continues to persist. That needs to be watched out for. If there is a positive from yesterday's session, if you would want to call it that, both the Nifty and the Nifty Bank ended and managed to hold on to their support levels. The Nifty 26,100, 26,150, it held out on that. The Nifty Bank too held out above the 59,500 mark. That remains the very important level for the Nifty Bank to watch out for. On the upside, of course, 60,000 remains the first level, and then of course the new record high. Today's session, we react to the IIP figures and the CAD data. Of course, auto sales, the remaining ones, of course, particularly from Hero MotoCorp, that you need to watch out for. The insurance amendment bill, if it gets tabled in Parliament, that's an important thing to watch out for. Watch out for pharma stocks in particular. There are a lot of developments because of the tariff deal announced between the US and the UK, and a lot of others as well with regards to the GLP-1. So keep pharma stocks on your radar, and of course the currency, as we mentioned, if there is any further depreciation there. But for now, since there are a lot of monitorables to watch out for, the GIFT Nifty is absolutely on the flat line. It's of course the weekly expiry as well of the NSE contracts, so brace for some volatility in today's session.
Okay, bracing for some volatility in today's trading session. Thanks so much for that, Hormaz. But let's move on and talk about stocks that you should be keeping on your radar. Over to Upasna. Good morning, Upasna.
Good morning, Vinny. Well, first up, let me start with Bank of Maharashtra. The government to divest 5% stake in the company via OFS, and the floor price is set around rupees 54 per share. Next up is HUL. Board appoints Vandana Suri as the ED of Home Care India with effect from 1st of Jan 2026. Next up is KEI Industries. Company starts trial production at its Sanand facility in Gujarat, and the commercial production at the new unit is expected to start from 10th of December 2025. Next up is NMDC. On the back of its November update, the total iron ore production is up about 11% on a one-year basis, and total sales has seen a growth of about 4.3%. Hero MotoCorp is in focus on the back of November sales. Total sales up 31% on a one-year basis versus the expectation of 29%. Ambuja Cement company commissions 4 MTPA brownfield expansion of clinker unit in Chhattisgarh. Next up is Bharat Dynamics on the back of order win. The company secures additional orders worth 2,462 crores from the Indian Army. Next up is Raymond Realty. The company announces expansion into Mumbai metropolitan region, and the company says that it has an unlocking revenue potential of over 2,000 crores. And lastly, coming to Bajaj Housing Finance on the back of the block deal, according to sources, Bajaj Finance is likely to sell 2% equity in the company. So we'll be watching out for all these stocks in our today's trading session.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Upasana. But finally, let's go across to Sudarshan, who's here to tell us what to watch out for in the world of F&O. Good morning, Sudarshan. Nifty expiry, Hormuz said volatility, but what are we keeping an eye out in terms of levels and individual F&O stocks?
Good morning, Vinny. So it's almost zero action if you look at the entire F&O data. At the index level, you are seeing that whenever we try to hit the record highs, we do see the selling pressure. And yesterday also that we saw Nifty once it crossed previous highs, and after that it saw sharp fall. And it was same for the majority of the indices. It was same for mid-cap index. It was same for Nifty Bank. So today, global cues remain subdued. Now, if you take a look at the flows, yesterday also in the index futures, we have seen just 107 crore of buying, and they have added long positions of 190 contract. They have reduced short positions of around 240 contract. Their long exposure remains around 19%. And on the short side, they remain heavily shorted, and that short exposure remains around 81%. So there is almost no action as far as the F&O data is concerned. And that was the reason, if you look at the volatility index, that was also just like it saw like minor fall. Now coming to the options data, 26,300 calls in maximum addition. There was addition of almost 1 crore shares. 26,200 call also seen a healthy addition. Addition was 76 lakh shares. On the put side, 26,150 saw maximum addition. So now the range has moved slightly higher, 26,150 to 26,400. So first support for Nifty, 26,100. Next support comes around 20-day moving average of 25,900. Resistance remains the same, 26,310. For Nifty Bank, support would be 59,000. Resistance would be 59,900, or say 60,000. That's the record high. One stock remains in the bank, that is Sammaan Capital. Some of the stocks, NMDC has been seeing fresh longs. Another stock from Autopay, Ashok Leyland, has been seeing fresh longs, and two stocks that are seeing fresh shorts are Indigo and Max Health.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Darshan.